¿Lo has visto?
Esta cuadra, recto, 1 y 2.
Ajá.
Está ahí.
Ah, bueno, ¿tú lo has visto?
Sí.
Sí, gracias, wow.
Proof that Tupac is still alive. The sudden pass of Tupac Shakur remains one of the biggest mysteries in the rap world to this day. In September of 1996, the legendary rapper had his life taken. According to onlookers around the world, the rapper has been spotted in various countries, despite being cremated. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of the main reasons why Tupac may still be alive. Be sure to watch this entire video as you're not going to want to miss out on what we have to show you today. Don't forget to leave a like and comment the keyword to enter the giveaway. Were there hints of his passing in his lyrics? A major conspiracy theory that surrounds Tupac and his state of being alive or not comes from his lyrics. He has many songs that seem to actually foreshadow his passing, so let us run down a few for you all. Changes. Although released posthumously, this track finds Pac resigning himself to the fact that he'll never get to lay back because he always has to worry about the payback of his past making it back to him. And as the hook, borrowed from a Bruce Hornsby melody, reinforces that that's just the way it is. Open Fire. Like many songs written by Tupac, Open Fire was directly challenging anyone out there to get him, saying explicitly, "Word to God, I've been ready to die since I was born. If I die tonight." The verses on this track are tinged with paranoia and an abrupt, angry nostalgia over friends who have also passed in a violent manner, likely facing the same fate and no doubt taking more than just a few with him. Pac goes out with guns blazing on this one with lines like, "I hope they bury me and send me the rest." Headlines reading, "Murder to my death, my last breath. I wonder if heaven got a ghetto." Throughout his life, Tupac has had a haunting familiarity with death, and here he muses about what the afterlife might be like for someone who's lived a life like his. In contemplating this notion, he asks theoretically if heaven has a ghetto for a hustler like himself. In doing so, he displays a certain vulnerability. "I ain't mad at ya." With Danny Boy on the hook of this track, Pac eloquently reflects on the separation that sometimes occurs between friends when their paths diverge, and how there's no hard feelings, punctuating each verse with the refrain, "I ain't mad at ya." But in the video, Pac with the eerie precision meets his own end with gunfire, and speaks to his friend from the perspective of the afterlife, interspersed with a heaven sequence filled with other departing icons. So as you all can see, these lyrics from Tupac's songs seem to bring out his idea of passing away, and can relate to how he may be alive. It's very shady that Tupac seemed to completely predict what was coming for him, and expressing this in his music adds more conspiracy to it. His cremation. Tupac's body was supposedly cremated on September 14, 1996, which was the following day after his sudden passing. Suge Knight claimed that he personally paid a man $3 million to cremate Shakur, only to find out the man retired and was never to be heard or seen from again. In a related twist to the story, word got out that the Outlaws actually smoked the ashes from their mentor and friend. In a 2014 interview, Outlaws member Edie Mean confirmed the rumor, but revealed that the ashes were not Tupac's after all.
You have some Native Americans that actually smoke their loved ones when they pass away in a peace pipe or whatever, and it's a way of always being connected to them. And we smoked what we thought was his ashes. You know what I mean? Years later, we found out that they wasn't really his ashes, but at the time, we felt like we was, and we would have did that for him because he would have did that for us. You feel me?
Which sparked up a question of her own. Whose ashes were they? The cremator, though, has never been heard from again. He literally disappeared. Very sketchy if you ask me. While the book titled The Killing of Tupac Shakur claimed to have a picture of Tupac receiving an autopsy, some fans dispute the authenticity of the picture. The book's author, Kathy Scott from the Las Vegas Sun, said an autopsy was done the evening of September 13, 1996, almost immediately following his passing. According to her, the body was positively identified by his mother, Afeni Shakur, who died this year. Public funeral services were also canceled both in Los Angeles and Atlanta, and there was no viewing of his body. It's a very creepy theory. Alive in Cuba. The rumor that Tupac faked his own passing and moved to Cuba was started in 2014 by Suge Knight. Why do you think nobody been arrested if they say they're the one that ended Tupac? Because Tupac not dead, the death row boss told TMZ. If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You know, he's somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar on an island. YouTuber Charlie Boy TV went to Cuba to find Tupac. While many people said they didn't recognize the photo of Lassane Paris Crooks, there were some who said that Tupac was alive and well in Cuba. Yes, I've seen him here. A woman says on the video. One dude gives exact directions on where Tupac can be found. Some locals said that they've even seen Tupac in Old Havana. Tupac's aunt is Assata Shakur, the political activist and former Black Liberation Army member who ended the life of a New Jersey state trooper in 1977. She escaped prison and fled to Cuba and has been living there since 1984 after the Cuban government granted her political asylum. So the question is Tupac living with his aunt in Cuba? There are many theories surrounding the possibility of Tupac still being alive with his aunt in Cuba, but are they entirely true? From the evidence, it appears to be a big possibility, but we cannot be 100% sure. Either way, the Cuba sighting conspiracy theory is one that has been well known in the world for a long time now. Tupac's stage name Machiavelli. Towards the end of his career, Tupac performed under the alias Machiavelli. This was the name he went by when he released his last album of his career whilst alive. In 1996, the Don Illuminati, the Day 7 Theory. The inspiration for the name came from the political playwright, politician, and Italian war strategist Niccolò Machiavelli, whose book The Prince and the Art of War were reading material for Tupac while incarcerated prior to signing to Death Row Records. One of Machiavelli's ideas on how to fool your enemy was to fake your own passing and come back when they least expected it. A prince who wishes to achieve great things must learn to deceive, he wrote. That's not all though. If you rearrange the letters in the name Machiavelli, it can spell I'm alive, K, or Mac alive. On the cover of the album, it displays the words Exit Tupac, Enter Machiavelli. The artwork features Tupac as Jesus Christ. We know supposedly came back to life after 7 days. So was he trying to tell us something? In the opening seconds of the first track, Bomb First, My Second Reply, you can hear someone clearly say the words, Suge shot me. Why is that in there? Is it a message? Did Pac put it in there to let people know that it was Suge Knight who set him up and he had to fake his own passing to get away from the dangerous Death Row Records head honcho? This theory is a very crazy one that must be taken into consideration when looking at it if Tupac is still living or not. The 7-Day Theory. Looking back at Tupac's album, The Don Illuminati, The 7-Day Theory, there are several conspiracy theories that point to the number 7, alluding to the fact that Pac is in fact still alive. The number 7 is regarded as a holy number, and it is said that it took 7 days for God to create the world. Tupac's depiction of himself as Christ on the cross is hinting at the fact that he would in fact rise again, which could have been his way of shining light on his own reincarnation from one life to another, taking 7 days to undergo the transformation. So aside from his final album featuring the number 7 in the title, where else does it appear? Tupac had his life taken on September 7th. He passed away 7 days later on September 13th, if you include September 7th as day 1. He passed at 4:03 p.m. 4 plus 3 is 7. He was 25 when he died. 2 plus 5 is 7. He passed exactly 7 months to the day after his most successful album, All Eyes on Me, was released. How do you explain all that? There's no way that all of the above is a coincidence. Tupac may be trying to tell us something here about how he is still alive, and it's up to his fans to figure it out. The amount of digging around people had to do to come up with this theory is crazy, but for some reason it surprisingly makes a lot of sense. Suge Knight implied Tupac might still be alive. Marion Suge Knight was in the car with Tupac the night he was shot in the drive-by shooting, only picking up a graze on the back of his neck. This is another reason why many have claimed Tupac's death was faked. All those shots and Suge only gets grazed by a few bullet fragments? Yeah. But then in 2017, Suge floated an idea to Ice-T and Soul Dad O'Brien as he spoke to them via a call from prison from the Who Shot Biggie and Tupac TV series. When Pac died, if he really did, Suge began. I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac were laughing and joking. The former Death Row Records label boss continued. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad. So you seriously think that he might still be alive? A skeptical Soul Dad responded. I'm gonna tell you that with Pac, you never know. Suge replied. Very, very interesting concept to think about. Suge Knight was behind all that had happened, and he might be the only person in this entire world to know if Tupac is alive or not. But of course, he won't tell us, as that would bring up a lot of attention to the rapper. The last pick. The supposed last picture of Tupac has always raised eyebrows. The now infamous image of Tupac and Suge Knight riding together in the car that they were shot in while stationary at a red light is haunting every time you look at it. But was it really taken on the night of September 7th after Pac had gotten changed at a hotel following the Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon fight to then head out to Club 662? If you look closely at it, there are several things wrong with it. The date stamp on the photograph reads September 8th, not the 7th. There are no keys in the car's ignition. There's no red tint on the windscreen where the reflection of the red light would be. So was this all a ploy in order for Tupac to sneak out of the country undetected? It might be. But they definitely did not do a great job in an attempt to fake Tupac's passing. Suge Knight's son stated that Tupac is still alive. After his father's recent imprisonment, Knight Jr. has reignited the flame of conspiracy surrounding the unsolved passing of Tupac. Knight Jr. posted a series of unverified photos and stories to Instagram. The controversy began when the pictures of the words "Tupac is alive" surfaced on his profile. Following what he believed was ironclad evidence to support his theory, 2 blurry photos of the supposed Shakur followed, showing him allegedly posing with his fellow music artists 50 Cent and Beyonce. No timestamps or evident information were provided, only vague captions. 50 Cent, get the strap, y'all see it. And he never left us. They'll be after me soon, shaking my head. For y'all though. Interestingly as well, Suge Knight has played a big role in Tupac's passing, and the fact that his son came out to state that the rapper was still alive should raise some eyebrows for sure. Nobody was placed behind bars, and we still have no clue who committed the crime. While many people speculate possible suspects for Tupac's passing, we still have no idea who actually did it. You would think after all these years the truth would finally come out, but no. So who actually did it? Who ended the life of the most famous rapper of all time? Or is it all fake? The plot to get himself out of the spotlight? I'm not sure, but this has been a big conspiracy that many people have talked about over the years. Hey, just a reminder that we're changing up the giveaways. From now on, we're offering the Galaxy Note 9, the one that comes with the exclusive Fortnite skin, the new iPhone X Max, which we'll pre-order for you, and the new Apple Watch Series 4, which we'll also pre-order for you. The winner gets to decide between these 3. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, drop a like, and comment the hidden message in the video for a chance to win. You got nothing to lose. Go for it.